as the hills of West Virginia resound with the sounds of Golden Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about the 15 to 10 to 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Tavon Austin.
But Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels fear to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth.
It's Mountaineer pride.
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
We've no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night.
They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season.
And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another live stream here on the Country Roads Webcast channel. July 10th edition, kind of special edition, I guess you could say, for EA Sports College Football 25. Been kind of trying to put out coverage for WVU in this game here on this channel. Of course, if you want to follow news on the game in general, you can check out my other channel, JC's Pop Culture. But here today, we're hopefully going to get to dive into WVU's full roster momentarily. EA's been putting out these reveals at like 10:55 a.m. steadily, like clockwork, so I figured that would come this morning at the same time. They were a little late, came at 11, but still haven't released the full rosters. We got the top 100 players, and we do have some Mountaineer to talk about there in that aspect, though, still yet. Let me pull this up here first. So this is what they've shared so far. They put out, Game Changers, the top 10 players list here, and you can click the link and go to the top 100. And if you do that, it will take you right here to where you can look at the top 100 players. Hopefully, they're going to have the full thing out momentarily, and we can really dive into WVU. But here's the top 100, obviously. Scroll down through here, which is interesting. No 99 overalls. Highest rated players a 96 overall. That's good for ratings-wise. But keep scrolling here, and we do have a Mountaineer here in the top 100 players. Was hoping that we would, and definitely we do here. Let me get down here to them. Obviously, I think a little bit low rated, personally. I was expecting 89 to 90, something like that maybe for this one. I think when I put out my predictions a couple of months ago. But as we can get here, you see, he is 90. Okay, I thought he was lower than that. But so kind of right at where I was expecting Wyatt Milum to be 90 overall in the top 100, 82nd highest rated player on the game for the Mountaineers. Let's see if we can just pull up just him here on his own. So I'm hoping they're working on loading this up and we can look at the whole roster momentarily. That's what we were promised. We were promised full roster reveal today, guys. So I'm not lying to you here. This is what they said. So I guess they're just running behind on it. But Wyatt Milum, some ratings here for him. Obviously 90 overall. Nice there. He gets, the lone Mountaineer here in the top 100. 73 speed, 81 acceleration. Got the 88 strength. 92 awareness, 78 jumping. But doesn't even show his, I want to see some of his pass blocking grades, but not on there quite yet. So I'm going to keep reloading this tab here in case EA Sports does drop the full roster. That's kind of what we're here for, guys, is waiting to see the full Mountaineer roster. But thus far, only have shown us the top 100 players. So that's where we're at, guys. That's where we're at. Hopefully just a matter of time we'll be able to show more of that here. But for now, we know Wyatt Milum is one of the top 100 players in the game. So that's a plus. Was hoping to maybe see Garrett Green sneak into that top 100, but seems like he just missed out on that. Hopefully he's still, somewhere 85 to 89 overall range maybe. We'll see. But Wyatt Milum does crack the 90, so good. At least we have one player that's 90-plus overall on the game there with Wyatt Milum. But Having said that, guys, while we await hopefully some more news on this, want to encourage you guys, as always, any questions, comments, concerns you got, throw them in the chat there. We'll talk a little bit in the lead up here while we wait on this. I got a couple other things I can pull up too in addition. But if you are in here live, or even if you're watching this on a playback, thumbs up on the video there on YouTube. Helps a ton with the algorithm. And, of course, if you're a WVU football fan, be sure subscribe here to the Country Roads Webcast, where we're covering the Mountaineers always throughout the football season, and, of course, in the lead up to the football season now as well, covering recruiting, roster updates, all that good stuff. And then when we get into the season, injury reports, depth chart updates, snap counts. Of course, we still got the CRW podcast we're releasing weekly throughout the season. Have put out a couple episodes now in the preseason and getting close to kicking off season 7 with our annual season prediction roundtable, where we go through and break down the WVU schedule game by game. That's going to be released in early August, so be on the lookout for that in the near future. But I do have a couple other things we can touch on while we await the EA Sports roster. Of course, WVU put out their media guide. And in that, shout out to Jonathan Martin for putting it on social media here in nice digestible pictures. But they had a preseason depth chart. Looking at the offense here, couple of surprises, really. The biggest surprise to me is no Justin Robinson here on the 2 deep yet. I'm sure he's going to crack into that sooner or later. Regardless, I think he's going to get some snaps there, the transfer from Mississippi State. But as it stands right now, the preseason depth chart, you see the Z receiver. You got Preston Fox or Traylon Ray, kind of got them co-starters there. The slot there at the H, Rodney Gallagher and Day Farmer. Not surprising there. Day Farmer has been kind of the talk of preseason here since he got on campus. The coaching staff really high on that true freshman. He's going to get some snaps this year. I think that they may use him similar to how they used E.J. Horton the past year or so. Could definitely see that with his speed. Get involved. And I think Rodney Gallagher will, of course, have an expanded role, now wearing number 24 because of the possibility of him maybe playing on defense also. Left tackle, Wyatt Milum and Johnny Williams. Left guard, Thomas Remek, backed up by Sully Weedman. Center, you got Brandon Yates, currently backed up by Landon Livingston. But, hey, don't rule Kyle Altuner out. I'm telling you, he's got a chance there to get on that 2 deep. He's going to be a good center, during his time at WVU. True freshman that's on campus now. Right guard, of course, Jaquay Hubbard, and then a redshirt freshman, and Nick Cray, that this staff's really high on, is listed on the 2 deep there with him. And then at right tackle, I'm surprised there's no or in between these 2 names currently. We know this is probably going to be a position battle going into fall camp. I'm hoping to do a series here on YouTube in the near future, position battle previews, kind of talk about some of the position battles we can expect to go on in fall camp. And this is one that's near the top of that list with Nick Malone and Xavier Bosley there at the right tackle position. Of course, Nick Malone has the experience, but Xavier Bosley, freshman All-American last year, talented guy coming over from Jacksonville State. Tight end, kind of as expected, Cole Taylor and Traylon Davis. Then the X receiver, we got the or in between Hudson Clement and Jaden Bray. Of course, Jaden Bray, the transfer from Oklahoma State, was here for the spring. We know Huddy Tuddy, how much he came on last season. Really starting to come into his own, I think. Quarterback, as expected, Gigi and Nico. And then running back, they don't list either one as the starter. And I think that's rightfully so between Jaheim and CJ, because I think this year we're going to see a lot of games where those 2 guys are on the field together. A lot of 2-back sets this year probably from those guys. But, any thoughts on the depth chart, throw them in the comments. We'll talk about this in the meantime, in between time, while we hopefully await the full roster reveal coming very soon here from EA Sports. And then we flip over to the other side here, look at the defensive side of the depth chart. Defensive end, you got Sean Martin and T.J. Jackson, kind of as expected. T.J. Jackson, one of the highest graded transfers that West Virginia brought in, according to PFF, coming over from Troy. Torres Simmons still listed there at defensive end as well. Probably going to get some reps this season. West Virginia a little bit thinner on the defensive line than they were last year. One of those reasons being the injury to Corey McIntyre Jr., who was going to be a key contributor. Asani Redwood coming back from injury as well. See how much he can contribute, but he's a guy that we've had high hopes for here on the CRW. We've talked him up since he committed to WVU with all those sacks he racked up in high school. Hopefully this year is the year he finally comes into his own. But switching over to the nose tackle there, Fatorma Mulba or Hammond Russell, who's now wearing 99 instead of 94. Both of those guys listed there as kind of co-starters. We'll see who ends up earning that starting job. Both those guys are going to play a ton, though, and both have shown promise in the past. And then Nate Gabriel, a freshman that was here for the spring. Good size for a true freshman there, 315 pounds, listed there on the nose at the nose tackle spot as well. And then I mentioned defensive tackle, where you see Asani Redwood as a second string behind the guy I like to call Steady Eddie, old Eddie V there at the defensive tackle. He's so reliable, so consistent. That's why you earned that nickname for me, Steady Eddie, last year. Spur position, now formerly known as the Bandit. I know you're seeing Spur like, what's that? I used to be Bandit, so if you haven't known, they're calling them Spurs now this year. with Victor Cabral coming in, coaching that unit. And we got the two ties, if you will, there, Tyron Bradley and Ty French. Both, different body types, obviously. Tyron Bradley, great size, nearly 260. He's almost like an additional defensive end, but we've seen his athleticism as well. Former option quarterback back in the day. And, in the bowl game, we saw him go up, make that great one-handed grab. I think he's set for a big year. He was really, acclimating well toward the end of last season, especially when you see how he performed in that bowl game. And Ty French, probably the most underrated addition that West Virginia picked up, coming over from Gardner Webb. Is that right? I believe that's where it was from the FCS level. But he wreaked havoc there, and he was actually playing out of position, playing kind of the Mike linebacker for them. They just used him however they needed to all over their linebacking core. Here at West Virginia, he's going to be able to do a little bit more of what he's destined to do, and that's rush the passer. I think you could see us use him situationally, kind of similar to how we used Bruce Irvin when he first came to West Virginia. And he'll be splitting time there with Tyron Bradley. But watch out for Ty French as a pass rusher this year. I think he's got some really good capabilities. And then one of the linebacker positions, you got Josiah Trotter, and you got the or in between him and Ben Cutter. Kind of surprised there. I figured Josiah Trotter would be listed as the solidified starter there with how he impressed in the spring. And just that size, man, 6'2", 240. He looks like an NFL body out there on the field already. But Ben Cutter gained a lot of good experience last year as well. So not surprised he's going to get some reps this year. And then, of course, the other linebacker spot, Trey Lathan going to be the guy there, and he'll either be, backed up by Reed Carrico or Caden Visor, kind of with the or in between their names currently there. Reed Carrico coming over from Ohio State, super highly regarded recruit out of high school. I think he had a 96 grade on 247, 5-star guy, top 10 linebacker in the country. So, plenty of good pedigree there and a lot of high ceiling for Reed Carrico, and we know how good Trey Lathan is. Switching into jersey number 4 this year, as we saw in the spring. And then at the spear, we got a position move, that I really like, a position change. Aubrey Burks moving there, from playing free in the past. And I really like that. You go back and watch, some of Aubrey Burks last year as I've been going through the game rewatch commentaries for channel members here on the CRW. We recently did the Texas Tech game. And he was all over the field there, especially diagnosing running plays, coming screaming downhill, getting TFLs. So I think having him at that spear position where he can play a little bit closer to the line and do a little bit more of that, it's going to really be beneficial for him. And I think he's got a chance to maybe have his best season yet, which is really saying something because he was very good 2 years ago. But Aubrey Burks there playing at the spear. And then you got Zay Jennings, the true freshman that was here for the spring. Coaching staff really high on him as well. And he looked impressive, made some plays there in the spring game. I think he's a guy that's going to contribute, get some reps this year. Then we look at the cornerback spot on the left side there. Aiden Garnes locked up as the starter right now, and I'm not surprised by that. He is the one that really stood out to me in the spring. I know Garnett Hollis is kind of probably the one with the highest pedigree, the one that a lot of people are expecting to maybe be, this year's Beanie Bishop, if you will. But Aiden Garnes has a ton of great ball skills. I mean, he really will attack the football, pull that pin and go after it, as they like to say. And I think he's going to rack up a ton of, pass breakups and some interceptions this season. Then you got the or in between TJ Crandall and Jordan Jackson behind him. Jordan Jackson, one of the 2 Jackson twins on the roster, more on the other momentarily. But TJ Crandall's a guy, another high ceiling guy. If you look at his offer list in the transfer portal, it was insane coming over from Colorado State. But he's just been battling that hamstring injury since he got here to WVU. So I think that's why, he's still kind of fighting his way up that depth chart. But if he can get healthy, he's a guy that can contribute. And then at the free safety position, I'm a little bit surprised by this one because I thought that Jaheim Joseph would maybe play the cat, and that way you'd have a little bit of experience, between him and Anthony Wilson. But obviously this is all subject to change when we get into fall camp. We'll see what happens with this. But for now, you still got Anthony Wilson as your starter at free, and Jaheim Joseph that came over from Northwestern, backing him up there will be splitting reps. The cat safety was kind of the most surprising one to me. To see Josiah Jackson listed with the or with Kikora Tarnu, I thought for sure you would have either Tarnu or Joseph as one of the 2 starting safeties. I'm not saying that still might not happen, obviously, when we get into fall camp, but definitely shows that the Josiah Jackson's really made some big leaps. You heard the coaching staff talk him up some last year when he was redshirting. So it seems like he's going to get some playing time this year, and him or Kikora Tarnu, the transfer from Jacksonville State, could end up starting there. And then Jacob Boyce behind them. And then the other cornerback spot, you've got Garnett Hollis, who I briefly mentioned, the other Northwestern transfer. Great size there, 6'1", 201. And like I said, the coaching staff raved about him since he came in. You look at some of his grades last year, and, in the Big Ten, he was facing some pretty good passing offenses there, and really did a good job there if you look at his PFF numbers. Jacoby Spells, still fighting back from injury. We'll see how long that holds him out as well. And then Dantes Fagan, the other transfer corner that we got coming over from Charlotte there to round out the defensive preseason depth chart. And then if we look here, lastly, special teams, not too many surprises here. Michael Hayes listed as the starting kicker, but RJ Koshan really showed some leg there in the spring. So, in capable hands either way, I think. Holder still Leighton Bechtel. Punter still Ollie Straw. Leighton Bechtel is the backup there. Seems like Michael Hayes still going to handle kickoffs. We left some to be desired in that department last year, both in kickoff specialist, who was handling it, which was Michael Hayes. Early in the year, he did a lot better job, got a lot more touchbacks. And then later in the year, kind of struggled with ball placement. The coaching staff was talking about, and our kick coverage was just not very good last year. Look for that to improve this year. Long snapper, still one of the best in the business. Austin Brinkman, backed up by McGuire Moss. And then here we get into the returners, which is interesting because I think West Virginia is searching for a kick returner this upcoming season. Now, could Huddy hang on to that role and lock it down? It's a good possibility. But I think that, some of these other guys coming in may have a say at it as well. Dom Collins, Day Farmer, those types. Punt returner, you still got Preston Fox there. And I like seeing Rodney Gallagher on the 2 deep there as well, though maybe he'll get some work there at one of the return spots. But that's what we got right now for as far as depth chart is concerned, guys. Let's see what we got in here. Anthony Hammond, where can we look up the player rating? That's what I'm waiting on, man. I'm going to share them with you guys soon as they show them here, man. As soon as they show them here. They've only released the top 100, so we only know Wyatt Milum thus far. He is he's in the top 100, but we're supposed to get the full roster reveal apparently today, but nothing yet. Nothing yet from it. They've only released the top 100, so I'm just playing the waiting game. Once they have it, I'll share it with you guys here for sure. In the meantime, in between time, we'll just kind of hang out and chat, I guess, until they come with it. But I'm trying to check social media real quick. Let me make sure that they haven't put anything up here yet. All right, let's see. Yeah, like I said, everything EA's dropped, with all these reveals has been like 10:55 on the dot. They were a little bit late today. It was like 11 a.m. and they only dropped the top 100 players thus far. But, they said full roster reveal today. So we're expecting it. We're waiting on it. And when it comes, we're going to share the full WVU roster here and go over it. Trying to see, checking social media, making sure I'm just not missing it here. So still waiting, guys. Still waiting. But I will, in case some of you guys came in late, I'll pull back up the top 100 here, and we can take another look at Wyatt Milum because he is the Mountaineer that is in the top 100 players here. Let me pull that back up real quick, guys. And here's what we'll do, actually. I'm going to filter this by tackles, and we'll see how he ranks as far as tackles are concerned. But 82nd highest rated player in the game overall. Let me share the screen with you guys. As you see, Will Johnson at Michigan, the highest overall. Will Campbell at LSU, the second highest overall. So he's obviously the highest rated left tackle. But let's see if we can filter this by position. Here we are, left tackle. So if we do that, see this, that's not right? Okay, here we are. So I just had to reorder. So he is the 4th highest rated left tackle on the game, guys. That's pretty high praise there. And like I said, at least we have one player in the 90s here. As you see, 90 overall right there. 82nd highest rated player on the game is Wyatt Milum. So he's the only Mountaineer who we have ratings for thus far. We're waiting on the full roster reveal. They've only revealed the top 100 players right now. But Wyatt Milum makes it in there, 4th highest rated left tackle in the game. For those of you that came in late, 90 overall, 73 speed, 81 acceleration, 88 strength, 92 awareness, and 78 jumping. I'm surprised they're not showing the full list of ratings. I'd love to see his pass block, run block rating, things like that. But so he is the 4th highest rated left tackle in the game. What else we can do is we can see where he ranks among the Big 12 here. Let's do that as well. Got to be one of the highest rated players in the Big 12, I do believe. Well, if it'll filter it the way I want here. Okay, there we are. So he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14th highest rated player in the Big 12 conference. So if we look at the highest rated players here in the Big 12 conference, as EA's released the top 100 players, Ollie Gordon, highest rated player in the Big 12, 96 overall, 90 speed, 97 acceleration. Travis Hunter, second highest rated overall in the Big 12. Not very surprising there. 95 overall, 95 speed, 96 acceleration. Tatorian McMillan, I would have rated McMillan up there too. I mean, I think he's talented. 94 overall, 91 speed, 89 acceleration. The overrated Shedeur Sanders, of course, 93 overall, 80 speed, 85 acceleration. He's not even that fast for one. I'll give him that, though. But, whatever. I would have put Shedeur Sanders probably like a 76 overall personally. Takario Davis, 92 overall, 90 speed, 92 acceleration. You got Taj Brooks, 92, 88, 91. Devin Neal, 92, 90, 93. I'm surprised that Garrett Green didn't crack the top 100. Right guard Luke Kandra at Cincinnati's 91 overall. RJ Harvey, talented running back out of UCF. I'd have had him above Devin Neal personally. 91, 92, 92. Dante Corleone, obviously talented player, 91 overall. The cornerback Kobe Bryant from Kansas, 90 overall, 92 speed, 95 acceleration. Jalen Daniels, tough ratings there with his 88 speed, 90 acceleration. That's going to be a tough player to face in the game. Hopefully they show Garrett Green similar love on his speed and acceleration and such. Nick Martin at Oklahoma State, the only other one that's ahead of Wyatt Milum. But I guess he's kind of tied technically with Kobe Bryant, Jalen Daniels, Nick Martin, and Jonas Savina of Arizona there. So, I mean, technically you could say, 14th? You could say he's tied for 10th or 11th, right? So, at least they gave Wyatt Milum some love. I was kind of surprised that he hit the 90 overall mark with how these ratings have been treating West Virginia thus far. For you guys that haven't known, not in the top 25 toughest places to play, not in the top 25 offensive ratings as a team, not in the top 25 defensive ratings, not in the top 25 overall ratings. So they have not shown West Virginia much love. So that's why I'm anxious to see this full roster when they come with it, to see how badly they rated us, because some of it I think may be a little bit off. But I also want to see who made the cut. 85 scholarship players are allowed in this game as opposed to 70 like it was back on NCAA Football 14. So playing the waiting game now, just waiting on the full roster, guys. But that's a look at some Big 12 stuff and, of course, what Wyatt Milum is in case some people came in late there. Let me refresh the EA Sports College page here, make sure they haven't dropped that yet. In the meantime, in between time here while we await it, nothing yet. Encourage anybody in here, though. If you got questions, comments, concerns, throw them at me. We're just waiting to reveal the roster, guys. Hopefully it comes soon. If not, I'll pop back on here when it does. But hopefully it's coming down the line here in a few. Silas says, I'm a fan of RG3. Hope he goes off along with everyone else, of course. Me too, man. I'm ready to see that guy, come into his own. I thought last season, we could have afforded to maybe target him a little bit more in the downfield passing game, right? Seemed like every time we used him, it was just, jet sweeps, end around, screens, things like that. And maybe he didn't have, the full grasp of the route tree yet, potentially early in the season. But I think this year, after going through the all season, you're going to see us use him in a lot of different ways. And just when you look at the wide receiver core, I think that there's a lot of weapons there. It's hard to come up with the two deep across those three positions when you got, obviously, Justin Robinson, as I mentioned, was left off there. He's a talented transfer, coming over from Mississippi State, originally committed to Georgia out of high school. You got him. You got Jaden Bray coming over from Oklahoma State. Coaching staff seems to be high on, as do players on the team. And, of course, we've seen what Preston, Huddy, and Traylon Ray can do, not to mention RG3, Day Farmer, Don Collins. It's a long list of good receivers that's going to be on this team, and a lot of speed there as well, I think. So excited about it too, man. I really am. Well, I guess while we await, hopefully this news coming soon, let me make sure I'm not missing it here. One thing that we can do in the meantime, between time, because I've talked about it on my other channel, JC's Pop Culture, which if you guys don't follow there and you're into this college football 25 game, definitely give me a subscription there. I'll pull it up on the screen here for you guys so you can see the channel there as soon as I can get it here. But because I have been updating this game for 6-7 months now, I think. See how many videos I got in the playlist specifically on Yeah, it's over 60 update videos I've done for EA Sports College Football on this channel already, trying to grow it up as well. So, if you're a fan of EA Sports College Football 25, head over here and just hit me a little subscription there. And, of course, on Twitch as well, JC's Pop Culture, I'll be streaming the game, Dynasty Rebuilds, Road to Glory series, all that. Probably do one with WVU, a little Neil Breezy action, and try and work them up. But definitely check me out on YouTube if you're into this game on JC's Pop Culture, where I'm covering it a ton there for sure. But having said that, I know, like I said, I've updated it there, but I don't think I've shared it here too much because obviously we weren't listed. So, I did put out a rant video about the offensive ratings because they were god awful. But if you guys missed the rankings week, Mountaineers weren't in it, unsurprisingly, I guess, because of how they've been treating us. But so the top 25 places to play, this is the one that I definitely thought we should be in, but I'm not as mad about this one because it's going to change as soon as you hop into dynasty mode and stuff. If you start winning with WVU, they'll hop into this top 25, but they just missed it there. As you see the list of the top 25 places to play, toughest places to play in college football 25. I was upset that this one's in there and we weren't, because did we not beat them at our place and their place? What was it, 34-10 in a night game at Lane Stadium? I don't think that place is the top 25 toughest anymore. It hasn't been for a while. Maybe they'll be back. They got a good team coming back this year. We'll see. But no way that they should be in there and we shouldn't. I mean, if they're in there, we should also be in there. It's my personal opinion. Obviously, we're biased here, but, we're showing love to WVU. And then here, this is the one that really threw me, the offensive ratings, guys. And like I said, I put out a rant video on the other channel about this because just complete BS the way that they did this, especially when you look at this. Colorado 89 overall on offense. And this was an offense that was near the bottom of the country in rushing offense. The only thing they were really ranked high in was passing offense. No way are they a top 10 offense in college football ratings wise. No way nearly a 90 overall. And, not only are they above West Virginia, Kansas is above West Virginia. Arizona is above West Virginia. UCF's above West Virginia. So several Big 12 teams above West Virginia. And I'm not saying these teams don't have good offenses and aren't deserving to be here, except for maybe Colorado. You guys can tell I'm not the biggest fan of them. But, KU, good offense, but who led the Big 12 in rushing last year? West Virginia. Who led the Power 5 in rushing last year? West Virginia. Who returns a ton? West Virginia. So I'm not saying UCF shouldn't be in here, not saying Kansas shouldn't be in here, but West Virginia should be in this top 25, especially when you get VT in here and some of these other teams that make appearances in this top 25. You can't tell me West Virginia's offense isn't at least an 83 overall. I was hoping our offense would be 85 plus. So at best, we're 83 and just missed the top 25, maybe 82 on offense. So that just shows you how much, EA is kind of downgrading us a little bit, which has got me worried about these player ratings. That's why I was excited to hop on here and see them and then maybe get to rant a little bit again, judging by how they rated the offense as a whole there, as you see there. And then here is the defensive ratings. Of course, when Mountaineers not on here, wasn't really expecting us to pop up on this one, maybe later in the season, because I think our defense really will surprise some people this year. As you saw me go through that preseason depth chart, a lot of new faces, a lot of new talented faces there that are going to pop up in there, and a lot of experience from guys that were playing inexperienced last season. But you see here some of the top 25 defenses. Virginia Tech getting a lot of love here. Top 20 offense, top 15 defense on this game. Colorado getting an 84 overall defense is terrible. I mean, that's terrible. And then what else is terrible? They have USC's defense rated higher than their offense. Whoever did these ratings for EA was just terrible. And what upset me the most about it wasn't when they were talking about doing these ratings, they were saying they were going to use PFF ratings. But there's no way they did, because West Virginia's players rated super high on PFF. Our offense rated super high. Garrett Green was, top 10 overall in the country PFF rating. So, no, y'all didn't use the PFF ratings. And then, of course, this is the team overalls. Mountaineers not hitting this one either. But those are the top 25 overall teams starting off in college football 25. You see Colorado 87, VT 87, Kansas 87, Arizona 87, Oklahoma State 87. So at best, West Virginia is probably 86, 85 overall total at best, because they missed out on this top 25 list where it kind of cuts off at 87 overall here. They could, like I said, they could still be 87 overall, just didn't make the top 25, but I'd say at best we're 85, 86, judging by just some of these. So, wanted to share those two on this channel in case you haven't seen it, while we await, hopefully, the full roster reveal momentarily, guys. like I said, EA's been on the money with this, having it up like 11 a.m., 10:55 a.m. when they said they were going to do these releases. Today, not the case, and they've only put out the top 100 players as we were supposed to get the full roster reveal. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's up with it. Silas is going to be watching Brown today in Vegas. Oh, yeah, definitely going to try and tune into that. It's about, 2:40 Eastern, I think. It's about what time. And then I think Garrett Green's up about 3:15, if I'm not mistaken. I saw that. I think I got a doctor's appointment at 3, so I might have to catch some up on a replay. But definitely going to have to check that out, guys. And don't forget, Big 12 Media Days, WVU making their appearance today. Check that out on ESPNU for sure. Big Bummer Brad says, trash list, no Colorado in the top 10. Yeah, EA, man, they love some Colorado. They love some Colorado. Let's see here. Let's take a look at let's sort this by positions. Let's take a look at some of the positions here of these ratings as we await, hopefully, this full roster coming very soon. Okay. Let's see the top quarterbacks here. All right, obviously, Shedeur Sanders tied with Carson Beck for the highest rated quarterback on the game. Overrated. Sorry. Quinn Ewers, third at 92, tied with Dylan Gabriel, former Oklahoma quarterback, now at Oregon. Jalen Milroe, 90. Jackson Dart, 90. Jalen Daniels, 90. Caden Salter, 90. And I'm sorry, Jalen Daniels is a great quarterback, but how is he a 90 and above Garrett Green? I mean, Garrett Green actually played last season, hasn't been injury prone. He battled through injuries last year, actually played against TCU with an injured ankle, ran a touchdown, won the game. So if Jalen Daniels is 90, 88, 90, Garrett Green better be like at least 86 overall, man. That's a joke. Only Big 12 quarterback on the lists, Shedeur Sanders and Jalen Daniels. Like I said, this is only the top 100 players. That's all they've released thus far. So let's take a look at the running backs here, which is a list I expect to see Jaheim White on. They're going to update the rosters for this game, though, throughout its life cycle once the college football season starts. That's one positive we have to look forward to, is even if they do, screw the Mountaineers on the ratings a little bit, that once the season starts, they are going to update these based on the seasons that players are having. So, the game comes out less than a week now from early release. Obviously, you have until August 31st to deal with these ratings. But once the season kicks off, some of these are going to change. But for now, here's the top running backs. Ollie Gordon, the Big 12 represented there with the highest rated running back in the game. Quinshon Judkins at 95 there, number 2. Ohio State, 2 strong running backs there. Travion Henderson, 93 overall. With Omarion Hampton, the running back West Virginia saw in the bowl game there at North Carolina. Jay Nott at Cal, 93 overall. Taj Brooks, 92. Devin Neal, 92. So that's what. We got RJ Harvey on here, 91 as well. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 Big 12 running backs here in the top running backs in the game. That's okay. CJ and Jaheim will have something to say about that when it's all said and done. Ashton Genty at Boise State and Donovan Edwards. But if you guys watch the head-to-head gameplay video, man, he looks good. And if he looks that good at 91, some of these other running backs are going to be really tough. Nicholas Singleton, 91 overall. Obviously, we'll see him week 1. But, also in that head-to-head gameplay video, you saw Penn State play a little bit. And their passing attack, I know it's a video game, but it left a lot to be desired there. So, I know it's a different story on the road. But this year in Morgantown, if West Virginia can force Penn State to be, pass-first offense and try and shut down, Singleton and Allen, I like West Virginia's chances if they can force Drew Aller to be the one to beat us. Damian Martinez of Miami, 91 overall. Mentioned RJ Harvey. Kyle Monangai, 90 overall. Quentin Cooley, 90 overall. So I may as well round out the skill positions here. Let's look at the top receivers here in college football 25. Top receivers here. We got, let me sort this. Travis Hunter, obviously number 1 in the game here. Luther Burden at Missouri, tied for number 2 with another Big 12 receiver, Tatario McMillan. Emeka Egbuka, 93 overall at Ohio State. Torrey Horton, 91 overall at Colorado State. Tez Johnson at Oregon, 91 overall. Trey Harris at Ole Miss, 90. Evan Stewart at Oregon, 90 overall. And Xavier Restrepo at Miami, 90 overall. So was that two Big 12 receivers in there? So that Big 12, it's getting some players in the top list here, at least. We do have that. We know Wyatt Milum, 4th rated left tackle on the game, so that's a positive. But all right. Brown should just use the EA ratings as more motivation. Absolutely, he should. And I think that, that's something that could happen. When they first released that little screenshot of the team select screen and they had our team ratings, which, were subject to change at the time, but they were rated super low. I posted on the Country Roads Webcast Instagram, and Ham and Russell responded and, was talking about how they had them underrated and stuff. So I think that they're going to see these and they're going to use them that way. And, Neil Brown, that's one thing he's good at, is getting motivation out for the players. Is White our fastest player? Silas asks. I'd love to know, man. I'd love to know. Still waiting on these full rosters, man. Still waiting. They said full roster reveal today. Nothing yet. Let me double check, make sure they haven't dropped it here in the last few minutes. Just continue to chat with you guys and stuff while we await it, because all they've given us is the top 100 players. They said full roster reveal coming today. Still nothing. Yeah. I'm not seeing them where they've put out the whole thing. Let me double check on their site real quick, make sure they haven't updated it anymore here. Let's see. Still not there yet, guys. It's surprising, man. I can't believe it, because they said full roster reveal. I'll show you guys, where they had it, because you guys probably saw me put it out on social media when they first put out the list there. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Because you guys tell me. Does this say launch roster reveal? Yes, it does. It doesn't say top 100 players reveal. It says launch roster reveal. So, everyone's taking that to be the full roster reveal, but I'd be upset if we don't get to see the rest of the Mountaineers today and we only get to know Wyatt Milum's ratings. It's going to be disappointing, but nonetheless, at least we have one, I guess. But hopefully they're coming with this momentarily. Like I said, they've released everything about 10:55 in the morning, but here we are, an hour behind that now, and still nothing. Still nothing, guys. My apologies, but hey, they promised it, so I was just hoping they would deliver. Jim said off topic, but haven't seen you on Hoops from the Hills lately. Where you been? Well, every time that, Paul's done, I've unfortunately been stuck at work. I'd love to eventually be able to do this, full time, like Mountaineer Paul does. I'm going to have to continue to try and grow my channel memberships and stuff before I can get there. Assistant manager at a grocery store is my full-time job. So I'm usually there a lot, unfortunately. I'm usually, from 7 in the morning to 6 at night, or from noon to 9 at night. So it's kind of hard to work it in sometimes. It's usually got to be a day when maybe sometimes I'll have one day that I'm open and then I can hop on and stuff. But it's just kind of hard for me sometimes to hop on to them. But it's not because Paul hasn't been offering, for sure. He's been, reaching out to me and everything. Just haven't been able to get the schedules to line up quite yet on a lot of those. But I'll be back there shortly, hopefully in the near future. And, of course, when basketball season comes around, probably pop up there more often. But he's been putting out great stuff there, guys. You guys check it out, Hoops from the Hills. A lot of great interviews, been securing some NIL deals with a lot of players, both not only on the Mountaineer basketball side, but also, Best Virginia coach Chase Harler, a couple women's basketball players as well. So good stuff there coming from Hoops from the Hills. But I appreciate that, Jim. I'm going to be on there again in the near future for sure. All right, guys. There is one other thing I wanted to share as well while we hopefully await this reveal. Like I said, if we don't get it soon, guys, I'll pop back on here whenever they do drop the rest of the roster. If they do, they promised it to us, but who knows if they're going to follow through on that at this point. It's pretty disappointing for them to only reveal the top 100 players if that's all they're going to do, especially when it says launch roster, because 100 players ain't no launch roster. But if you guys haven't seen, we talked about this when they first released the Coal Rush uniforms, that they would be releasing a collection for the fans to have, probably to encourage people to wear, black to that game whenever they decide to do the Coal Rush, but also probably just because people would like to have it. And so they do have it now available in store and online, the West Virginia Built on Bravery collection for the fans. And I'll pull up some of the stuff they have there as well. Some pretty cool stuff here. They got a tumbler, cooler bags, full-size autograph football, the Built on Bravery pickaxe, comfort color tees. Then just the regular ones is Built on Bravery, the male and the female. And they got a couple different hat options, the snapback and the mid-pro snapback hat, which is kind of the mesh. I like the mesh back ones, but man, that one looks good too, though. I like both those hats. I might have to get one of the hats. And I'm probably going to get one of the shirts too, for sure, I'd say. It's kind of that coal gray color, more so than like a dark black, but that's cool. I really like the tumbler as well, man. I might have to get that. I need some new coffee mugs, but all right, guys, I'm going to take a swig of my coffee. If you guys got any questions or anything, throw them at me while we hopefully await this full roster reveal. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate that. No, it's not your speakers. It's when I took a swig of my coffee. I forgot to unmute the mic. I always mute it when I drink my coffee, so you guys don't hear me drinking, of course. But you guys know it's not the first time I forgot to unmute the mic. It was one time I went like 5 minutes on here muted before I realized. I gotta check the chat more often. But nonetheless, pretty much just awaiting the full roster reveal, guys. Like I said, it's supposed to come today at some point. Obviously, they've only given us the top 100 players right now. Super disappointing. Didn't want to mislead you guys or anything. Thought we were going to get the full roster reveal, going to get to go through WVU's roster piece by piece, but we've only got Wyatt thus far, and we don't even have his full list of ratings. So a little upset. I'm a little upset. So I don't blame you guys if you all are too, but kind of out of my control, unfortunately, when they say full roster reveal when they only reveal the top 100 players. It's unfortunate. So just playing the waiting game. Seems to me that the young man from the southern part of the state may be the fastest on the team this year. Yeah, it seems to be the case, man. It's actually right where I'm from, Doug. I went to Bluefield. He went to Princeton. I'm actually friends with his brother, in communication with him a good bit and talking with him and stuff. And seems like coaching staff's planning to use him some in some packages this year. I'm hoping that he can secure the kick returner role, but definitely, I think, especially judging by 40 times, he's probably the fastest on the roster. It was at 4.2, 4.21, 4.23, something like that. He ran at one of the camps. So, yeah, he's a blazer, man. And, especially down here in Mercer County, he's probably, I don't know if I've personally seen anyone that type of talent and elusiveness and speed. You don't want to make the comparison, but just around here is like the Tavon Austin-esqueness of Mercer County. You don't see too many players come out of Mercer County, really. Luckily, right now we have a couple on the roster at WVU. Sean Martin from Bluefield, Dom Collins now from Princeton that you're referencing there, and definitely super excited about him and the prospects of his career moving forward for sure. Certified supply chain professional. Michigan runs college football and owns Bama / the SEC. Hey man, I'm all for owning the SEC, so you won't get no arguments here. You guys look like you're gonna be pretty tough on college football 25 too. I'll give you that for sure. Watching Donovan Edwards play looked good, man. Looked good. But I'm excited. What excited me most about that is just seeing how the running game works. I think that West Virginia is going to be in for a treat with CJ and Jaheim. If fingers crossed, they don't screw us too bad on the ratings, because one of the best backfields in the country is right here in Morgantown. CJ and Jaheim are going to be very talented. Having said that, guys, any questions, comments, concerns you got, throw them in there. I'll hang around for, about 15 minutes. That'll put us at an hour. I don't want to keep you guys waiting around forever for this roster like I am. But hopefully we get it between now and then. If not, when it comes up, I'll, come back on here, guys. But yeah, no fun. They gypped us. Making sure I'm not missing anything here. Still not seeing any updates other than the top 100 players, guys. That's unfortunate. My apologies, guys. Like I said, didn't want to mislead you, but I think EA misled all of us, saying, launch roster reveal, and they've only dropped the top 100 players. Doug Hurst says, I like that WVU isn't getting much love. Ours is all they need. Hey, good point, man. Good point. Indeed, that's 100% true. I think that we all know that West Virginia functions best as kind of an underdog mentality. I like when people underrate us, undervalue us, gives us that extra chip on our shoulder. And we've always, played good when we're playing from that perspective. So, not upset about it as far as that is concerned. And hopefully it does motivate the real life team more so. And if it does, I'm all for it. But I'm surprised. At least we got one in the top 100. That's nice. So we did get to talk about one WVU's player ratings, if nothing else. Is it beyond WVU to flip recruits we missed in July thus far? No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think it's something you could see potentially happen. You look at this past year, one of the guys we just talked about that's listed on the 2 deep for this upcoming season, Day Farmer, was committed to UCF all the way through, was no really mention of him decommitting or anything like that. Signing day comes around, bam, surprise flip to us. We end up with, one of the better receivers in that class last year in Day Farmer, who's going to be a contributor for us this season in a role. And I think you can definitely see some of that happen. Especially, I'm just so surprised that a lot of those guys committed to Purdue. What is Purdue doing down there to get some of these players? Like, what in the world is happening? Not even just talking about committing to over WVU, but like the other teams in their top 4 or 5. Literally, when they put out their top lists, I was like, when I saw them, I'm like, well, I can count Purdue out. That none of these people are going to commit to Purdue, and then multiple of them committed to Purdue. I was like, what in the hell is going on down there? Over there, I don't even know what state Purdue's in, to be honest with you. That's how irrelevant they are, and how surprised I was those people committed to them. All right, I'm just keeping an update here on the EA Sports College Football social media. Make sure they don't surprise me and drop this here momentarily. I'm sure as soon as I end the stream will probably be the time that they drop it. No, my luck. But I'm probably going to try and drop a roster update sometime in the next couple of days. West Virginia getting closer to that 85 scholarship limit. We know that one scholarship player is no longer on the roster in Victor Wickstrom. He's having to retire due to injuries. So, West Virginia loses a tight end, but definitely they have a ton of depth at the tight end position. So not too detrimental of a loss there, especially he was a little bit further down the depth chart too. So just waiting to see these rest of these ratings, guys. But like I said, if they don't come here in the next, about 10 minutes or so, I'll pop back on here if and when they do. Can't believe they only gave us the top 100 players when they said launch roster revealed. So it's unfortunately where we are right now, though. I wonder, though, if I can I can't believe they only gave like 4 ratings for each player, too. You don't even have the offensive linemen don't even have their pass block ratings or anything like that. It's unfortunate. There was something else I thought that I was going to pull up too, but I can't remember what it was. Let me see if I've got it. Because I accidentally closed my tabs when I thought I was going to be focusing on the roster. Of course, if you guys don't know, there it is. It kind of goes hand in hand with this ratings here. Offensive tackle ratings for the 2025 NFL Draft. Trevor Siekema put them out. You see Wyatt Milum, one of the top 10 rated tackles there. Is that, I think that's 10, right? 3, 6, or 9. Top 9 rated tackles in the country. Sorry, I can't count. Like I said, I went to Bluefield. Just a little joke we like to make for the Bluefield alumni. But offensive tackle ratings for the draft, you see Wyatt Milum high up there. I think he's got a chance to be a first rounder. He's probably going to impress this year. We'll see if he ends up at left tackle at the next level. If so, he'll probably go even higher if they're projecting him as a left tackle. But we know he can play either. Played that right tackle spot his freshman year here at WVU, so he can play either side. But definitely kind of goes with the ratings here for college football 25, him being our lone player in the top 100 at 90 overall. And then I think Silas said WVU football put out something here from Big 12 Media Days. Let's check that out if so. Since we're still not getting the roster. At this point, anyways. Share this little 30-second clip, guys. Thanks for the heads up, Silas. The boys are there and looking stylish. Garrett Green, Aubrey Burks, Sean Martin, and Wyatt Milum.
I like it. It's nice. Yeah, it's sweet. Sweet. Too huge. Nah, but it's nice in here.
Pretty damn cool. Big stadium. I like it. A lot of chairs out there, but I like it. Thumbs up from Juju.
Pretty cool clip. And especially since, we're obviously in Vegas this year, they're talking about the Raiders Stadium. That's where Big 12 Media Days is being held this year. Big different, accommodating that West Coast flavor of the league, obviously, and a new venue as well. And, speaking of, while we're here talking about EA Sports College Football 25, they're getting to play the game. I don't know if they got to play it yesterday or if they'll get to play it today, since today's the day that they're kind of there. Maybe today's the day they'll play it. But, you've seen clips going around yesterday of some of the other people there at Big 12 Media Days getting to play the game. So they're getting their hands on it before, kind of everyone else does. And I think the players get their copies a little bit early. So probably the next few days they'll be getting their copy of the game as well. As, everybody that opts into the game gets $600 and a free copy of the game as well. All right, I'm going to do one more check here, make sure we're not missing it here. Nothing yet, but they did share this. Like I said, kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about right on cue. You see CFB 25 is athlete approved, ready for day 2 of Big 12 Media Day. See Texas Tech player playing yesterday. And you see some Kansas State players playing there as well. Avery Johnson on the far left there. You can see them playing College Football 25 on the PS5 there. They got a chance to get their hands on it, like I said there. So there's the proof that I was talking about there. But hopefully soon, if nothing else, when the Mountaineers players get their hands on it, we'll get to hear their reviews of kind of their thoughts of the game. And maybe that's what they're waiting on. Maybe they're waiting on, some of these players that haven't played it yet to get their hands on it today, and then they're going to release the rest of this roster. If that is the case, like I said, I'll pop back up on here as soon as I can, and we'll go over it piece by piece. We'll dive through this WVU roster, every player that's on it. For now, only know Wyatt Milum, so going to have to change this thumbnail, change the title of this video, obviously, now. But I'll have this thumbnail ready for when the roster is revealed later today, hopefully. But this one's just Wyatt Milum-centric overall after they only released the top 100 players here in EA Sports College Football thus far. But we'll get ready to wrap up, guys. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, throw them in there real quick. Last couple minutes, and while I give you guys a chance to do that, I just want to give you guys a reminder. I'm sure you've seen it scrolling across the bottom there, but if you haven't yet, hop on over here to YouTube, and if you can, help me. Like I said, I'm on that journey to hopefully try and do this full-time eventually, and one of the best ways to support me on that journey is by just becoming a YouTube channel member. And obviously, it's not for nothing. I'm going to give you a lot of content for doing just that, including game rewatch commentaries there at the Almost Heaven level. I'm going back through the 2023 season right now, working on those, rewatching the entire game, providing commentary. And also, if you join at that level, you have the ability to request a game commentary, as long as it's one that can be found online on YouTube, something like that. I will do a game rewatch commentary for you for the game that you pick. Obviously, you're also going to get, the Cruise film reviews videos. You're going to get the monthly Q&A live streams with just channel members, where we just kind of hang out and talk. No dedicated topic, really. Once we get the member base up high enough, we'll start those. And then, of course, you also get cool badges next to your name, which are WVU football helmets, some emojis, and you get early access to the podcast episodes. As you saw, the last podcast episode we put out, I always put out the audio version, but the video version is available for members only for about 6 hours, and then I release it to everybody. So get early access to that as well. So plenty of bonus content for becoming a channel member. So do encourage that if you're able to. If you're not able to support me that way, you can support me fast, easy, and free by clicking the thumbs up button on the video, and by subscribing here, where you get all kinds of WVU football content free still yet here, just if you're subscribed to the channel. Having said that, guys, I guess that's pretty much all I got. Like I said, once they release the full roster, I'll pop back on here. But for now, we know Wyatt Milum, 82nd highest rated player in EA Sports College Football 25 with a 90 overall, 4th highest rated left tackle on the game. So hopefully some of the other Mountaineers are rated favorably as well. We'll find out soon in the near future. And once we do find that out, I'll be back on here to chat with you guys about it. If you didn't get a chance to watch this live, throw your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll talk to you guys here again, hopefully later today. Hopefully we get this full roster. But regardless, hope everybody has, a wonderful Wednesday. Hope it's going great for you here today. Appreciate you tuning into this July 10th live stream here on the Country Roads Webcast channel. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz. And until next time, let's go Mountaineers.